In this lesson, we will identify the LCD of rational equations. Here we're given an equation, a rational equation, and asked to find the LCD. So the LCD has nothing to do with the numerator. The LCD is the denominator. It is a combination of all the factors that are in the denominator and the most each factor occurs. In terms of the coefficients or just the numbers, it is the least common multiple of those numbers. So for example, with my numbers of 4 and 12, I would go into the 4 timetables and into the 12 timetables to find the least common multiple, in other words, the smallest number that they share in common. And in this case, that number is 12. Now I want to look at my variable. I only have one variable, and that's an x. And at most, in either of the three denominators, it only occurs once. So therefore, when you put it all together, the LCD would be 12x. In this next one, we want to first look at our coefficients. We have a 3 and a 9 in the denominator. So I want to find the least common multiple of those two numbers. So I need to go into the 3 timetables and into the 9 timetables to find the smallest number or the least common number, and that would be 9. So 9 is my number for my LCD. I also have a variable of x, and I need to know in either denominator, so let's check them all. In the first, I only see 1 at most. In the second denominator, I only see 1x. There are no x's on the third expression. So at most, in either denominator, x appears once. So when you put it all together, the LCD is 9x. Next example here, looking at our denominator, I only have one factor, and that is x minus 1. So all we need to do is look to see at most how many times x minus 1 appears in either denominator. So looking at the first expression, it only appears once. In the second expression, it appears twice. So at most, it appears twice. So therefore, my LCD is x minus 1 squared. In this last example, we want to find the LCD. So in order to find all your unique or different factors, we need to factor out that difference of square. And you should know by now that factors into x plus 2, x minus 2. Next, I want to look at all my factors. So I only have 2 factors involved, and that is x minus 2 and x plus 2. So now let's go and look at each expression to see at most how many times they occur in each denominator. So looking at the second expression, or the second term rather, with the first term, it's not a rational expression, it's just an integer. But the second term here, it is a rational expression. In the denominator, x minus 2 only appears once. On the third term, the expression that you have there, x plus 2 and both x minus 2, they only appear at most once. So therefore, my LCD would be a combination of the two terms, or the two factors because each factor only appears at most once. So my LCD is x plus 2 times x minus 2. And recall that order does not matter which way you write it. So here we see the circled choice of x plus 2, x minus 2, but it could have very well been written as x minus 2 times x plus 2, because multiplication is commutative, therefore order does not matter. And there you have it, identifying the LCD of rational equations.